Hey, how's it going YouTube? Domino21 here, and I'm back again to bring you guys a little bit of a brief update to my Dark Irregulars deck as requested by some of you guys. Now, although Dark Irregulars haven't gotten any key support cards in English for some time, the goal of the deck is still the same as with my previous version of the deck, which is, of course, just to hit those enormous numbers late game, to really make those pushes and throw a lot of your opponents off guard. Because of course the original design of the deck is to be that cross-ride slayer. Just being able to hit that 23k plus mark with your Doreen the Thrusters and your rearguard columns is very, very huge. So so yeah, I mean, the deck is still proving to test really well, despite more cross-rides being released post set 9. And I overall just made a few key changes to the deck just to give the deck more consistency overall, which this is something that the deck kind of lacks in. But I pretty much made some changes just to help minimize that. So without further ado, let me actually go through the deck for you guys. So of course, for your starter, you have your Greedy Hand. Really no changes here. He's just really good as a 5k booster, of course, early game. I usually like to feed him to my grade 3 Amon just to get a free kill, but I mainly like him for that built-in double soul charge to pump up this Doreen twice, which is really nice. So he's really good to try and save late game if possible, so really good card. Next up, for grade 3s, decided to actually just go with the simple, oops, that is not a Dark Lord of Abyss, 4 Dark Lord of Abyss, and 4 Demon World of Marquis Amon. Now, I decided to just go with 4 of each, just because I want a more consistent grade 3 lineup. Because, you know, 2 of these used to be Basilisks, which is just like, you know, your 12k attacker. But I don't know why. I think it was just my streak of bad luck, but I just could not open the Amon or the Abyss. I kept opening the Basilisk, you know, which was kind of frustrating. So, you know, the Dark Lord of Abyss being at 11k makes him a really good rearguard, and having 11k is a really, really good number because you can easily hit that 23k mark with your Doreens with 2 soul charges against cross rides. So 11k's of rearguards are still really good. And here, and like I said, I just want a more consistent lineup so that any grade 3 I open with is still suitable, so I don't really have to worry about anything else. So yeah, really nice consistent lineup. The next up, for grade 2s, of course, you have your 4 copies of Flirtacious Succubus. Sorry guys, I'm a little unorganized for some reason. So yeah, 4 Flirtacious Succubus. Just a really nice body at 9k and a nice free soul charge, so really essential to the deck, of course. Then you have your 4 copies of your medium Amon, I guess a lot of people like to call them. Just like I said, 11k attackers are very important to this deck. And then the new addition I actually made to this deck is 3 copies of Knowledge Drunkard. Now, this is actually a promo card from promo pack 12, I guess, from what it says here. I don't know. But yeah, it's actually a pretty underrated card, and I definitely overlooked this card for, you know, how well it works in this deck. Now, what he does is, when he hits your opponent's Vanguard, you can add 1 card from your hand into the soul and draw 1 card. Now, he is a little underwhelming power-wise at 8k. You know, it's pretty weak body too. But the idea with him is, you know, drawing him early to mid-game just to try and, you know, hit your opponent's Vanguard while it's weaker, so that you can try and just get a little bit of draw power going with the deck. Because one thing that this deck really lacked a lot of was consistency. Because, you know, other than this guy, there's really no other way that Dark Irregulars can really tutor or draw into their king combo pieces, mainly your Doreen the Thruster. So he helps you, you know, thin out the deck, try to draw into your combo pieces, and even fix some of your bad hands. And of course, you know, cards going to the soul only benefits the deck. So yeah, he's pretty good. And I mean, if you put him behind a Doreen the Thruster with 3 soul charges, it still hits that 23k mark against cross ride, so it's not too bad to work with. So yeah, and then of course later, when I really don't need him, I usually just dump him off with Greedy Hand anyway. So that's nice with Greedy Hand, is that he could dump off cards you don't need later, so you don't draw into them. So yeah, he actually really helps to work with consistency in the deck, and he's been testing well in the few local tournaments I've tried him out in. So definitely I give a lot of credit to him for making the deck run well. So a pretty good addition to the deck. And then last but not least, for the grade 1s, you have your 4 copies of Doreen The Thruster. Of course, this is my absolute favorite card in Dark Irregulars. And, you know, she can really hit some big numbers. So, you know, the goal of the deck really is to try and maybe soul charge twice per turn. That way she could just be your constant 12k attacker or booster. So, yeah, she could really hit some key numbers. So, of course, if you soul charge 2 times, making her 12k, putting her behind an 11k will hit for 23, which is the key number against cross rides. So, I mean, if you want to go beyond 2 soul charges and really make those big pushes, then that's all you. That's really what I call, you know, YOLO the Doreens. But yeah, she's essentially the win condition in this deck still. So I run 4 of, because you definitely need to draw into her. Simple as that. Then, of course, you have your 4 perfect guards. Just because with my bad luck, I always seem to damage check and soul charge these, so I got to make sure I can draw into these, because there's a lot of crazy Vanguard skills going on nowadays. So you got to make sure you draw into them. Then you have your 4 copies of Alluring Succubus. Just a nice 7k booster, of course, and just a free soul charge. So just really a nice enabler in the deck. And then you have your 2 grade 1 Amons. You know, this card's actually really good. I really want to put like maybe a 3rd one in here, just because, you know, when you have 6 or more soul, he becomes a 9k booster or attacker, which is nice. But you know, 2's been working pretty fine. He kind of is like your alternative to Doreen. So if you can, like, you know, draw into your Doreens for some late game pushes, he's just as good anyway. So yeah, overall, I just decided to go with this lineup. I don't play Yellow Bolts anymore, just because, you know, he was okay, but I just wanted to make more room for more consistent cards. Just, you know, adding more Alluring Succubus and making more room to play more grade 2s. So the grade 1 lineup works really well. So yeah, you know, overall, there's not too many major changes I made to the deck necessarily, but I kind of just designed the deck just to be very solid across the board and consistent. So it's simple as that. And and trigger lineup, I think it's the same as before. 8 crits, 4 draw, and 4 heal. Simple as this. Now, key thing to remember is with your Hysteric Shirleys, you want to try and hold on to them as long as possible, so because she is a built-in double soul charge. So you want to try and hold on to her as long as you can when you're trying to make those pushes late game. So before I let you guys go, just gotta give you guys a quick overview of the setup you really want late game. Now, early game I like to try and open with the Amon, because with his skill, while your opponent usually has a very small field, really easy to control your opponent's field, maybe try to give her some key cards early. So here, but late game, traditionally, I like to have Dark Lord of Abyss, just because he is a built-in double soul charge without using up any resources. So some plays I even had against some of my opponents was like, you know, having 2 Doreens and let's say, I don't know, Amon and a Flirtacious Succubus. So, of course, you counterblast 2, you soul charge 2. The Doreens here, well, of course, will be 12k. So this column here will be you'll be looking at 21, and this will be 23. And since you called the Flirtacious Succubus, you do get another soul charge in, so that gives you another 3,000 on this. So this will be like 26, 24, which is really key numbers against cross rides. So it's nice. So, you know, depending if you have more counterblast or more Hysteric Shirleys or such in hand, you can even keep going. You know, I even seen, one time had double Doreens in one column, and I was able to hit, I think my record was about 80,000 plus before triggers, which was nuts. So there's a lot of fun pushes you can do with the Doreens, but she's essentially your win condition in the deck. Now, one thing to remember too is when handling these 2, now whenever you pioneer your starter to the rearguard circle, just keep in mind that when you have your when you know you're gonna ride your Amon first, try to put your starter in one of the corner rear guards, because Amon doesn't have to be boosted since he already supplies his own continuous power. That way you can have just a free booster for one of your rear guards, so you don't have to commit an extra card on the field. Simple as that. Or if you have Dark Lord of Abyss, I usually put my starter behind the Vanguard. That way I can boost him, because of course he doesn't boost himself. So that's just something just to keep in mind for you Dark Irregular players out there watching. just using the starter is just getting the most out of it. That's why I kind of like to ride the Amon first, just so I don't have to boost with them, and it saves me an extra card in hand. And with Dark Irregulars, every card is important. So yeah, so there you have it, guys. So this is a very quick update and just a couple tips for you. But yeah, overall the deck is working a lot more consistent for me, and definitely one of my favorite decks to pull out in some matches. So yeah, more people need to know about the power of Doreen. So yeah, other than that, guys, thank you guys so much for watching. As always, feel free to leave a comment down below with any questions or concerns and such, or just send me a personal message about it. And definitely leave a thumbs up on the video. That's always appreciated. But yeah, other than that, guys, thanks again for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.